variable is showing you how bad the cancer is. This NPI variable it's derived from how big is the tumour when they've removed it, the size of the tumour, whether it's spread to the lymph nodes, whether they find any spread of cancer, and they look down the microscope and they look at what the type of the cancer is. But anyway, it doesn't matter for the moment. Just look at this box here. This is like the worst outcome. This is the worst type of cancer. If you're in this box, it's the worst. If you're in these top ones, it's not so bad. This is the worst one. And then so this is where you have possible chemotherapy. Look here, recommending chemotherapy. This is so that the doctors say, yes, you should have chemotherapy. Age less than 40. Then recommending against chemotherapy, so that's chemotherapy none, age greater than 60. But first of all, as I say, these are world-leading rules, but I think it's really interesting here, age less than 40. Just pause a second, what does this really mean? Does this mean not, if you're 39, they say no, they say yes, do have chemotherapy, and then on your 40th birthday, they say, oh, no, we don't know anymore. And this one, they say no, age greater than 60. What does greater than 60 mean? Does this means on your 60th birthday? Does it mean 60 and 1 second? Or does it mean when you're 61? So actually, these are written as crisp rules, you know? And yet I think in real life they've got to be fuzzy decisions. Because presumably they actually do. There's also, you'll notice there's a gap between 40 and 60 with no indication of what we do between 40 and 60. One can only presume that actually in real life the doctors look at, if you're 59, they'll probably think you're closer to 60, so they're probably more likely in here than here. But it's not unspecified. Anyway, I think it's really interesting, and I think this sort of shows actually human decision-making practices probably is fuzzy. It's not based on something like this. I really don't believe that the doctors actually apply this as a crisp rule. Look, we turn this into fuzzy, and just as an example, here's that rule 7, which is that this rule here is a match of this one here, where age less than 40. And you see the fuzzy rule that says if NPI variable is high and this other variable is not negative, and age is young, then chemotherapy is yes. And of course, this age is young is looking up the person's age on exactly one of those fuzzy sets of young that I showed you earlier. Yeah? And so, as the person gets older, the truth of this statement gets gradually less. And so in a fuzzy system, you have these gradual transitions rather than these sharp decision boundaries. Anyway, I've built this fuzzy system. Just as another aside, if you look at these rules, I show these rules to a doctor, and they say, oh yeah, I understand them, because they can read this rule. If NPI is high and ER is not negative and age is young, then chemotherapy is yes. But a doctor looks at this, I understand what your system is doing. Actually, they don't really understand, because they don't know any of the mathematics as to how these rules are being processed, but they think that they understand. And so, fuzzy systems have this sort of, it's like some sort of understandability or explainability, but it's apparent explainability. So, you know, like I said, neural networks can also do y equals f of x. The fuzzy does y equals f of x, but fuzzy, they say the neural network is a black box because you can't really understand what's working. The fuzzy is some sort of, well, they say white box, or maybe grey box, to say that you can sort of read it and somehow think you understand how it's working. I think it's an interesting thing, which is why I've used fuzzy systems in medical, because doctors like looking at the rules like this. So again, I've performed a set of experiments now. I've built the fuzzy system, and what we were doing here is, this is a different set of data than what I'm showing you earlier. Now in this one, we actually had the real decision, which was yes, no, or maybe. And what we're trying to do is build a fuzzy system to give the same answer as what had happened, to give the yes, no answer. We built a standard fuzzy system, and this, I haven't got time to go into the details, we published papers on it. We created an optimised type 1, an optimised standard fuzzy system. So we created a fuzzy system that was the best fuzzy system we possibly could. And then what we did is we put variations in that system. That's the best system we could produce, and then we put variation into that system. But again, we ran this 30 times now to simulate like 30 different people. And we had different amounts of variation. And again, I'm going to jump straight to the results here. So again, it's a complex graph on the x-axis of how much variation was in the system. So if it was zero variation, that's the standard system. And with the standard system, I got 1,108 agreements. That was the best I could possibly do. Then on the x-axis, I've got different amounts of variation. So like, and again, this is like, the 0.03 would mean 3% of the universe of discourse on my variation. So in this instance, hang on, I should have just said, I ran this 30 times, and each time the system says yes, no, or maybe. And then what I do is I run it 30 times, and I take a majority vote. So if more of the systems say yes, then the answer is yes. So I just count how many systems say yes, how many systems say no. I take a majority vote to get the overall decision. So if I have 8% variation in my system, and I take a majority vote of 30 systems, then I increase the number of my agreements from 1,108 up to over 1,140. So this is just one data set, but this is saying if I have one very, very good system, and then I put in small variation to that one system, and then I take a majority vote of systems which vary, then I get better performance. And some people at this point say, how can you possibly get better performance over an optimised standard system? The example I'll use is weather prediction. I've got a weather prediction app on my phone. I guess a lot of people have weather apps. I've actually got two different weather apps on my phone. I've got one from the BBC, and I've got one which is an international one. And if I'm travelling to Bangkok and I want to check the weather, I check both of them. They give slightly different answers, slightly different predictions, yeah? And I check both of them. And I synthesise myself somehow a result which from both of them. And I find doing that gives me better prediction than if I take one of them. One of them sometimes gets it wrong. Two of them tends to get a better prediction, looking at two of them. So, okay, each of those are optimised systems. Both of them are producing the best prediction they can. But in that sense, you can see, rather than just using one and saying that's going to be the best, I'll use a panel of multiple ones and take some sort of consensus. So somehow take the consensus. And again, if you think about it of people, if I ask a difficult question, I don't know, I'll try. What's the capital city of Laos? No, what's the capital city of... What's the capital of North Korea? I don't know, I'm trying to pick something which is difficult, but I know. If I ask one person, perhaps they don't know. Perhaps I ask two people, they give me different answers. Perhaps if I ask 30 people, and I take a majority vote. So you can imagine, if you ask a difficult problem, you can get differences of opinion. So getting differences of opinion and then taking the majority can end up potentially with better decisions. So what I'm showing you here, I mean this is now published through 2012, sort of 20 years later. This is some evidence that if we have an expert system, a computer system with variation, then perhaps we can get better performance than if we build a static system. So these non-stationary systems, in combination with some sort of ensemble decision-making, taking the opinion of multiple, may be able to improve the quality of decisions. This is just one example data. I can't prove it in general, and I'm still working on this area of research. So I'm going to sort of stop here. I've taken up my hour, and I'm just going to sort of finish with a summary. So, what I've tried to give you a flavour of is just I haven't really gone into any detail, but I'll just say fuzzy sets and systems are a different framework for processing information. They have advantages and disadvantages over things like neural networks. You can use probabilistic approaches, you can use other approaches. I work in fuzzy. I've tried to show you some rules to show you why I think fuzzy is quite attractive. But I'm not saying it's always best. I think it's one of a set of techniques that we can use rather than being competitive, complementary rather than competitive. I think it's sometimes better to use neural networks, sometimes better to use fuzzy systems. tried to just give you an idea about how these non-stationary fuzzy sets can be used to model this variation in human reasoning. I've tried to just illustrate at the end this sort of experiments to show how they can improve decision making. And then my last bit is just that there's many. This is 20 years of research, and we're still doing research now on modelling this variation and the techniques needed for doing so. So 20 years of research work, and I haven't finished yet. Made some progress, but haven't completed it all. So and I think there's many interesting things to look at in this sort of area. A whole load of people have obviously helped with this work, not just me, and so I'll stop there. Take questions. So thank you very much.
Just curious, when you say the model like silver research, right? And when you take a board on the answers, from different variations from one system. So sampling the system from to be randomly change the sets.
Yeah.
And then take a board of that.
Yeah.
Right?
So I've got like on this one I've got 1% variation. So I've got
I had a scale
move by one. And I might move it up to one.
Yeah.
So think of my middle age, which don't the 0 to 100. My middle age might be good. Instead of the centre being at 50, it might move from 51 to 49. Well, to be honest, I can't remember whether it's 49.5 to 50.5. And it moves around randomly. So there's a random number generating. There's a random variation. And then you run that. You do that 30 times. And so each time you run it, you've got a different shift of systems, sets. Because there's multiple sets, when you process the answer, you get a slightly different answer.
And you say this is in agreement with whom?
This is the agreement here with, in this, we've got what they actually did in clinical practice. And what they actually did in clinical practice, whether the woman had actually had chemotherapy, yes or no. So
how many is the
1,300. There's 1,000. We had a database of 1,300 women. These were real cases. So 1,300 women. I can't remember exactly. 1,310 or somewhere around that. That's actual cases of women who had breast cancer, and then we had the actual had they had chemotherapy, yes or no. And what we're trying to do is predict. Yeah. 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 The actual results, the actual. So we're trying to get the expert system to say, because a woman, we have to say to a woman, should you receive chemotherapy, yes or no?
Yeah, and then yes, and then you're going to be no.
Yeah. I'm from out of the 1,300. Yeah. Which is about 84%. Some people ask what's the percentage here. This is something like 82%. This is 85%.
So in this case, the system matches the pool of experts, basically.
Matches the.
Is that what you?
I'm saying not the pool of experts. I've run it 30 times. I've run it with random variation 30 times, and then it best matches what actually happened in real life.
So if you were to use the system instead of asking the doctor, then you would use this 0.08.
Yeah. In this case, yeah. And actually, in Nottingham, what they do to make the decision in real practice is actually they don't ask one doctor. They actually have a panel of doctors. It's called the multidisciplinary team meeting, MDT, and they actually get, it ends up being around 10 people in a room, and they ask, there's the surgeon who actually did the operation, there's maybe a pathologist, there's also maybe a nurse, there's different experienced people with slightly different viewpoints, and actually what they do is ask all of them. 10 to 12, sometimes, maybe fewer, 6, could be 6, it depends, each time they have a meeting, it's maybe slightly different people, it's like saying how many people didn't come to a talk today. I mean, so sort of they have them in the diary, you know, and some people turn up each week. And that's when they actually make the recommendation. But it tends to be about 6 to 12 experts in the room.
And you take the majority.
They actually do take the majority vote. Well, they sort of discuss it, and I've watched them. And what they do is they all discuss it, and maybe you say yes, and then you say no, and then they'll say, why do you say yes and why do you say no? They sort of discuss it. So they don't just say yes, no, and then take a vote. But they might do if they disagree. Sometimes they just come to a consensus, shall we say, by talking with each other. Or sometimes they do say, well, look, some of us think yes, some of us think no, so that's happening. So they do sometimes vote on it. So, but more often they try and resolve it by discussing. It's interesting to watch experts doing this, you know. I mean, it's a bit the same as, I mean, I don't know, whether in our university we have what's called double marking of exam papers. So sometimes you may have to mark, another person has to mark. And if you have, it's okay if you've got mathematics, it's fine, you know. But if you have something like an essay, then you give it 65% and I give it 70%. If you do it blind, different academics will usually give different answers, and then we have some sort of resolution process. Sometimes they discuss, sometimes they take the average, sometimes, you know, so you get differences of opinion. So you have this sort of differences of